My name is Eleni Sommerschield. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Wise Agent, and I am joined today by Brian Peitz. He's the VP of Residential Sales and Marketing at Chicago Title in the greater Phoenix metro area. Welcome, Brian. Thanks for being
Thank
with
you.
us. So
Happy to be here. Appreciate the invite.
Yeah, thank you. And welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be talking about growing your real estate business with strategic partnerships. Here at Wise Agent, we value all of our partners and all of our integrated partners, as well as, just everybody that, all of our clients, we appreciate everyone here, but it's really nice when you have a partner that, you can bounce ideas off of, kind of share clients with, and with real estate, as agents and title reps or lenders, all sorts of different vendors that are in that support the agents are really important to build these relationships. So we'll be talking today about what that's like and, what to do and how to be a good partner and how to get good partners on your side there. So I know you guys have asked quite a few questions before the webinar today, so we'll try and get to all of those. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. We'll be monitoring that. And then there's also a Q&A section for you to also ask any questions that you may have, and we'll be happy to answer those questions. All right. So first off, Brian, just tell us a little bit about what you do, at Chicago Title.
Yeah, for sure. And I realize there's people from all over the nation here, so welcome. Appreciate you joining in. So basically, I am the residential sales manager of the sales executives for Chicago Title. So Chicago Title is part of a very large conglomerate. The master name is called Fidelity National Financial, and they do about 1 out of every 2 title orders in the entire nation. So they own a bunch of title companies. Every city and state has a few in each. And so very large, a lot of infrastructure, a lot of very recognized names and big names. Chicago Title is the one that I belong to. And so my job is running a sales team to help support you as the real estate agent or lender to get more business, be more profitable, be more efficient, basically do everything we can to make you run a better business and therefore in turn work with you and work with your clients. And that's the end all. You'll hear names like marketing rep or sales executive or business development. It all means the same exact thing. It's all salespeople in our field that are going out and trying to work with you to get you to have your clients be happy and work with our companies.
Yeah, and that's great. I mean, having partners that are there to support you to help you grow your business. I mean, that really doesn't, I don't know if that happens with many other in many other industries where they have partners that are like, hey, I want to boost you so you can keep growing your business. So that's really that's a really cool thing to be able to
I don't know who that is. It has my name on it though, which is interesting.
Yeah, I can. Okay.
Hey, whoever just joined in from my team, you might want to unjoin. Oh. Yeah, wrong link. Okay. That's okay. We all do it.
That's okay. That startled me. That's all right.
But
my team has my login.
You made a very interesting comment. I don't know when the switch happened, but somewhere along the line, I think the world and the industry realized title is kind of boring. Title insurance is boring. We all have to get it when you buy or sell a home. It's needed, it's required, but it's boring and there's nothing to it. And in general, most companies all have about the same exact fees and have the same exact, title insurance paper. The difference is some of the bigger companies have large reserves and they're going to stick around through the bad markets and not go bankrupt, and you won't have all kinds of problems. But that said, what's to choose, your client to decide Chicago Title over another title company? And so what happened is they got salespeople involved to go out and give value and earn your business by building relationships and adding a bunch of stuff to your plate and making you happy and saying, wow, this person's really helped out my business. I'm going to go ahead and start working with their team. And then all the title companies started doing that, and then it just got super competitive.
Yeah. Well, and that's it's funny because you mentioned a couple of things. So one is like building relationships, because that's exactly what as realtors, everyone should be doing with their clients is building relationships. And then, and having, and then providing some service. So, providing some education, providing the knowledge, the expertise that you have as agents in your neighborhood or in your the area that are knowledgeable in, providing that to your clients. So it's basically whatever the title reps are doing really is kind of the same thing that agents should be doing with their clients. So it's kind of,
Exactly.
it's just a mirror of everything, just different types of clients and different names or titles,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And you said it best, really, because what we have been trained to do, and we're constantly training, we're constantly learning, we're reaching out from different markets to find the best of the best systems and tools to help our clients. And essentially, our prospects that we go after to try to earn clients is you, as a realtor or the lender, and your prospects are your buyers and sellers, right?
Right.
So we try to teach you what we do, and if you mirror it, you have a direct marketing company and essentially a marketing assistant helping you out and teaching you exactly what to do. So you don't have to go figure it out. You don't have to start from scratch, and you can just listen and learn and put things in place. The big key though is remember you're building a partner, right? A partner that helps you, gives you resources, gives you education, helps you through things, but not necessarily somebody who's going to do all the work for you. Our job is to teach you the hows and the whats, and then be there with you to navigate. But you still have to put in the work like any business owner, right?
Right, right. And then there's that loyalty. And I think, one of the questions was, how do you ask for, how do you ask for the referrals? And I
Right.
think one of the ways that I read that question was, I think the question was, what's the best way to ask for a referral? Well, so asking for a referral from one of your clients, really, it should go without asking for it, right? Because if you're providing that service, if you're putting in the work and you're building that relationship, you won't have to ask for it, because they're gonna feel that love from you. Where anytime that somebody that they talk to is talking about buying or selling a home, they're gonna say, "Oh, well, I had the greatest experience with my agent. They went above and beyond. They did this, even though there was some rough patches, because there's always gonna be rough patches, right?
Right.
Along the way of the process, but they led me through it. They send me emails saying this is what's coming up next, and they reassured me of things. They were very knowledgeable. They got me through the whole entire process. And I would recommend them. You have to have that same experience as me. So then you don't have to go out and ask for that referral. It's really about the service that you provide, and the same,
Yeah.
I think, goes for what you do, right, Brian?
Right. It's you hit the nail on the head. You shouldn't have to ask for the referral. It should come because of the service you provided and the relationship you have. We have to remember on both sides of the coin, it's a relationship business these days.
Yeah.
So you need to stay close. And that's where using certain tools like Wise Agent will help you stay in front of them and stay close, because we're all busy. We're all crazy. We're doing inspections. We're helping buyers. We're doing this. We're doing that. Working on our business. Then we have family and kids and all these different things.
Yeah.
So you need to create systems. The best realtors that I work with that are just killing it and have tons of business and doing really good, but still have a family life and a balanced life, they work their systems. And if you work your systems, you'll stay in front of your client. I will say it's an interesting study that just came out. 89% of consumers only use the same agent twice, right? Well, why is that? Well, because you sell a house to them or they buy a house from you, and then you get on working with other people, and you're not reminding them who you are and staying in front of them through, Wise Agent drip campaigns or phone calls or whatever it is that you should do to stay in front of your sphere.
Yeah.
And the reality is you're losing business, lots of referrals because of it.
Yeah. And I think it was 89% don't use them the second time.
That's
Right.
what I meant to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't use them, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's a huge number. I mean, that's 11% that do use them a second or multiple times through a process. I mean, really, what that tells me is that the agents really need to invest a little bit of time, a little bit of energy in it. You like you said earlier, you have to work it. You have to work. It's not just going to fall in your lap.
And by the way, it's
yeah.
not because they didn't like you, usually, maybe a small percentage is they had a bad experience, maybe. It's because they forgot and life gets in the way and years have gone by and they have 9 other friends or acquaintances on Facebook that are also real estate agents.
Right.
So it's like when I'm ready to buy or sell, who am I thinking about? Oh, am I thinking about that agent that's reached out to me month after month after month, sends me stuff, reaches out, gives me a phone call, sends me an email, reaches out to me on social media? Or am I going to just grab that flyer I just saw in my mailbox or somebody who I know is a friend of a friend, right? So
Right.
just, it's not that hard.
Yeah. And I think, and what we've done here at Wise Agent is made it really easy for you to use our marketing tools in order to, keep in touch with people, send out those newsletters and do things that will really set you apart. And you can use our newsletters and I think newsletters are a great way of getting your name out there, but you do have to be consistent on it. You have about 30 days to work on that newsletter. I don't think you have to put in, 8 hours one day a month. You can, if that's like your thing and you can block out 8 hours in one day. I'm totally jealous, but even if you put in 30 minutes once, once a week for 4 weeks, and then you get that newsletter out. I don't think it even needs 8 hours, but take our newsletter, customize it, put in some things. I live here in Fountain Hills and there's a lot of different things. We've got a music festival happening this weekend in town. So if I were an agent sending out a newsletter, I would be talking about some of the local things that are happening around my area. So then I could say, hey, get out and meet your neighbors. Join me over here. And I would tell them I'll be by the beer garden, stop by and I'll buy you a beer. I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you. Bring your friends. You invite them and you build that relationship, and then you open up your sphere when you're inviting them to something. And, maybe you shell out a little bit of money and buy them a beer, but you have a good time. And then you can continue that relationship afterwards. So it's not just buy the beer and then see you call me if you need something. Those days are gone. It can't be call me if you need something. It should be, I'll call you next week and check in and see how you're doing. So,
Yeah.
I think that's something right now that a lot of people need to get more into that mentality of doing it. And I think those 10 percenters are doing it that way. The ones that are being successful and getting those coveted listings right now is they're getting those listings because they've built those relationships with people.
Well, it is funny because I try to tell my sales team this and they tell their clients, and it's a constant conversation, because what happens is we all get so busy, we have so much to do, you get paralysis by analysis, and you start to think, okay, I want to build out this newsletter, but if I want to build it out, I want to add this, and I want to add this section, and I want to do this, and I need to do this often. And then you start to get in your head of, okay, well, if I can't do it perfect, I'm just going to put it off. And you got to forget about that. Perfect is the opposite of done. And you just need to do it and then tweak things as you go. Same thing with drip campaigns. We'll talk about drip campaigns with Wise Agent in a little bit. That's how I really built my business and skyrocketed up in my revenue and my clients. It's the same thing. You start to think of all these drip campaigns that are really cool. And I'm going to do this for this specific buyer and this for this seller and this for this long-term and short-term. And then you're like, too much. I'm going to do it later. You have to start with one, do another one in a month, do another one in a month. A year goes by. We all know how fast years go by, right? Our kids grow up fast. And then all of a sudden you turn around and you have 10 going. And that's the only way to do it, is just to start and forget about it being perfect.
Yeah, you do have to forget about it being perfect, because then it will never get done. I mean, if we've talked about this before on the webinar, where if you're talking about starting video, it's not going to be perfect the first time you do a video. It's not going to be perfect the first time you send out a newsletter or your first drip campaign. You'll have to go back and retweak it, but that's okay. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to reply back to you being like, oh, this didn't look as perfect as it could have. You'll go back and you'll judge yourself, of course, but that's how you see your growth. I'm going to share my screen here. I know some people were asking for me to share my screen. So I'm going to go to our newsletter section to show you what our newsletter looks like and how easy and simple it is. So we offer, monthly newsletters written in English, Spanish, and even one for the Canadian market written in English. Everyone's like, what's Canadian? So you can select your designations here. And then go in here and just find the right spot. You could make it as long or as short as you want. And this newsletter is the email version, right? So it's a little bit more narrow. So when it goes out, it's more mobile friendly. So if I want to put something, right after here, I have a section here. I can copy and paste some stuff in here. I can go to YouTube maybe and put something, even embed a YouTube video in here. If I don't like this article, I can change it out, whatever I want. If I think it's too long, I can just delete the whole thing or do whatever I want. It's something that you can completely customize. And maybe at the end of your article, you want to add more things in here. So here's a YouTube video. I'll just take this link and maybe you want to post it right in here. We made it really easy for you to embed a YouTube video. So all I do is take the URL and drop it in here, and it'll put it exactly wherever my cursor is, and put in a picture of the video and anything else in here. So I can talk about, this is the greatest, I don't know, whatever it is, what is this, jazz drinking recipe? I have no idea what this is, but anyway, so you can write whatever it is about this, this video that you've attached to it. You can add all sorts of different things, add different articles, change out the articles, talk more about maybe your local area. And I think that's a great way. And then once you save this, then you can just email this out to all of your database and your clients. I always suggest to people to categorize and tag your clients. That's the number one thing. Like if you're not going to do anything else in your CRM, just doing that is such a huge thing, because it will make everything else going forward so much easier. And it's okay if you haven't done it yet, but I definitely think categorizing and tagging your clients so are these people that I should be sending my newsletter to electronically? Maybe they don't, maybe it's not something that they're interested in, or maybe, I don't know, whatever the reason is, maybe they don't have an email address, or maybe you don't have their email address. Then that's a good reason for you to reach out to them and get their email address. So then I can just come in here, select the newsletter that I've saved, and then go ahead and send this out. And so it goes out branded with your brokerage, your information in here, and any customization you've done.
Eleni, I don't know if you saw that. You had somebody ask about what the placeholder is.
The placeholder, yeah. So the placeholders are great because in your emails, you want to make it where you customize things. So so if you want either, I don't know if it would work so much in the newsletter, but it could even on the subject line. I could insert a placeholder right here, just saying, first name, this is your monthly updates, and maybe I want to make it, local. So then say your Fountain Hills update, updates. And so if I'm putting in there articles about, about the area, the placeholder would just be, so if I send this out to everyone in my database, it'll say, Trisha, Paul, John, Sally, whatever, it'll put in their first name. So it's kind of like the old version of mail merge in Word. I think that's what it was called back in the day. Same concept. And then when you're writing out an email, you can put it in here. So I can say placeholder, and I can put in first name. Isn't this a beautiful sentiment? I don't know, whatever. And you can put in here something. So, oh, hi there. We got another guest.
Yep. Anna, the link apparently keeps popping into the main speaker window, so just log out.
Log out, sorry.
Yeah, sorry guys.
That's all right. We love the unexpected guest. So that's how the placeholders work, Michelle. Hopefully that was something that that covered it. I know, Brian, you talked about your drip campaigns and how you use. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you use that and how you set that up?
Yeah, for sure. I will say the drip campaigns through Wise Agent are really awesome. There is some templates you can use to start it off just to get it going, and then you can get super custom. And where I'm going to highly recommend that you do as far as the best practice goes is get custom. And what I mean by that is we live in a world right now that if you're too technology, your clients are going to find out and they're going to know, and you're not going to feel like you're a human being. But on the flip side, as we get busier in real estate, there's too much to do. You're not going to keep up with everybody. Somebody's going to drop through the cracks and you're going to miss out on a potential future client. So you got to what I like to do is call a hybrid approach to your drip campaigns. Build out a drip campaign, make the steps the way you want the steps to be, but hit them from every angle of life. What I mean by that is maybe one of your drips is an email. And it can be an email on anything. I'm sure Eleni can talk about different subjects with that. The next drip is maybe a Facebook reach out. The next drip is maybe a phone call reminding you to pick up the phone and actually dial and talk to them, asking how their day is, what's going on, staying in contact. Maybe the next drip is introducing them to a local restaurant. So that way you can, pull referrals back and forth. You're help supporting a local restaurant. They're helping support you. You're giving them another item of value, whatever it might be. The ideas are endless, but hit them from every angle, every social media channel, every email, text messaging, voicemail, phone call, sending them something, whatever it is, but make it so it's automated, but at the same time personal. So you're still a human being. You're still staying in touch with them, but you know what to do. Every morning you wake up and you open your drip campaigns, it's going to say, call these 5 people, email these 2 people, Facebook these 3 people, Instagram direct message these 7 people. Whatever it might be is you have a full system because things get lost. Either they get lost in emails, they get lost in social media, or you just don't have the time, and you won't miss out on anybody, and you will be top of mind. Going back to what we said earlier about people don't use the same agent twice. Well, if you're top of mind and you're hitting them from every angle, now you're in their circle. They know who you are. They remember you. You're their friend, and it's all personal. And I like the hybrid approach because of that.
Yeah, I love that. And I wanted to share my the calendar here, the Wise Agent calendar. So we have something right here, the marketing. This is a demo account, so we have a lot of stuff in here, but I'm gonna just kind of close everything else out so you can see. So you can see here in yellow, I have, a marketing event that's scheduled to go out, it looks like every Tuesday here. So, and then I have one that's just kind of random days, maybe it's a, it's a 5 touch, and you can select it to be whatever it is that you want it to be. And what's great is when you click on the event, it'll tell you what it is, but then you can also go to we also have a marketing calendar, and so you can click on this marketing calendar and it'll take you exactly to this touch, and you can see exactly what's going out on this particular day. So again, it would be, and this is one of our templated campaigns, but you can come in here and customize this. So maybe you're not exactly sure how to start, and maybe this is one of them. And then on the next event, you're like, you know what, I'm going to change it up. I'm not going to send this. I'll just go ahead and make this something different. Maybe I'll give them a call. And so I can come in here and just say, add them to the call list, and I can put in my script here, and this would be then really good. So if I'm just thinking about this whole marketing campaign and how it would flow together, putting the script here is really nice to do at the time of thinking it through. So then when the week goes by and you have to make that phone call, you're not like, wait, what was I gonna say? I can't remember. You put it in here and you can put your bullet points or whatever, and it'll come up on your call list. So then it will, prompt you, here's the script.
Yeah, I want to jump in here real quick and talk about that for a second, because this is where I come in and the marketing reps come in, and the whole, title of this is building deep relationships with your affiliate partners. What you want to do is you want to find a partner who is in partnership with you, and you build your business together, and they help support your business, and they spend the time and sit down with you and help you with this. For instance, you don't have to come up with a script. We in our industry have all kinds of great scripts that have been proven to work. and we test them time and time again. Use your title partner, use your lender partner, have them sit down with you and build out these drip campaigns. They have the scripts, they have the resources of what to put in them, they have information to put in the newsletters, they have the best spread of how often to contact somebody and how, the best direct messages with social media. I mean, you name it. That's what we're here for. You use us. We are there to help support you, help you gain business. Because remember, we get paid when you get paid. We're salespeople as well. So we help you get business and you push that business to your title company or your lender or any other affiliate partner. Everybody wins. So that's the circle of life.
Yeah, that's great. And I think, and so maybe we can talk a little bit about it. So how would you, if maybe you're a new agent, I mean, just even talking about this, thinking about this conversation that we were going to have today, I thought, wow, this would be perfect for new agents to know this, because when you're a new agent, you're like, I don't know, I don't have a script. I don't know what emails to send out. I don't even know who to talk to. So this is a great for either new agents or agents that are looking to, kind of maybe accelerate their business. How would you recommend maybe an agent going and maybe starting a partnership with someone like title or lender or whatever?
Sure, absolutely. Good question. And I will say, going back to what we said earlier, there's people in different states here, right? So every state's going to be a little bit different. But I will tell you, it's my understanding that all states are very similar to ours, where you're not going to have to find the affiliates. They find you everywhere you go. In your office meetings, there's affiliates there supporting the broker and the different partnerships that they have already with the real estate agents. At different events that happen, at CE classes, at all kinds of different things, you're going to meet a lot of them. But what your job is to find somebody you connect with, you like them, you think you can connect long-term with them, and then have a sit down and talk about business. The key thing for somebody who's new or doesn't have a strong partnership yet is to find somebody they like and stick with them and make sure that you both add value to each other. Because going back to what I said before, we make money when you make money. You're going to get more when you give more. Everybody builds together. And if you're super loyal to them and you love what they're bringing to the table and they're providing value and they're helping you gain business and being more efficient and all those things, then at the same time, you're going to send your clients to that company and your clients are going to be happy. They're going to be happy. They're going to give you more. So the sales executives out there that work for lenders or title companies, again, they're there to get business, right? We build relationships and help to get business. We're going to do more for you if you're loyal back. The biggest thing I see with newbies, and I don't want to use that as a negative term, but newbies in real estate is they don't necessarily understand that loyalty yet. And they might get all kinds of time from their title or lender partner and sit down and go over this Wise Agent stuff and learn all kinds of tricks of the trade and resources. And then they jump ship and try out somebody else. And then they try out somebody else. You really have to dial it down and find a partner or two at the most, because you will get the most out of it.
Yeah, that's true. Because that loyalty, that's what, and it goes back to loyalty and that connection. Because if you're loyal, then you bring on that stronger relationship. It keeps building and building. And it's a two-way street, because your partner is providing you with education, with tools, with tips, and things that you need. And then the agent is providing that loyalty as well, and bringing in that business when it is time to go to title or go to the lender or whatever. That's when they start choosing those people.
Yeah, I would also say, I'm sure my contact information will be shared at the end. If anybody's in any specific market and they're like, well, I don't know who to go to and I haven't found anybody good yet, or I haven't been happy with my partner, you can reach out to me on an email. I have a network throughout the nation because, again, we're so large that I know all the sales managers, and I can reach out to each sales manager in every city and say, hey, who is your best of the best marketing rep? And then I can connect you with that person.
Wow, that's a great offer. Because I think that's something, again, when you get that referral from somebody else of, hey, let me build out this network, then you're building those connections with people across the country, because your referrals can come from anywhere, right? People are moving, especially right now. I mean, here in Arizona, what are we getting? Like, I forgot what the number was. I think it was like 20 people moving here just from California a day, is what the last I had heard. So when you're getting referrals from, around the country, really, it's just building up your network, building your database and your sphere. That's a great way of doing it.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. I think, with the marketing, with Wise Agent. So if your partner is, if your title partner or your lender is also using Wise Agent, we've made it really easy for you to be able to share drip campaigns out. So from, your affiliate partner to the agents, we've made it really easy. So if you guys do have a partner that you already use, and you're using Wise Agent, you ask them, hey, are you using Wise Agent? Because there's a way to share really easily. So you don't have to, that dreaded data entry that is the worst thing, at least in my opinion,
Right.
to do.
Might as well be efficient if you can,
Yeah.
right?
So it's kind of like try not to do that. But I think it's always a great way of making it easier, so we've built our technology to make it really easy to share things with one another. And so one of the questions that we had here is, so how do you use Wise Agent better for texting? So I know you had mentioned texting. What are your thoughts on that? Are you, do you text clients out quite a bit?
Yeah, I do. So the text feature is really awesome in Wise Agent, one of the best ones I've seen. The one thing that we have to remember is as a tool, texting, it has not been figured out yet where it can come from your number in a mass text way. It has to come from another number. So one of the biggest things that you can do when you set up the texting feature is let the person know so they don't think they're getting spam, right? You send the message and maybe you send out a mass text email or a mass text or however you're going to do it and put in there, hey, this is Brian Peitz from Chicago Title. This is my second phone number. Please save it in your contacts. This is my business line, right?
Yeah.
And then forever, it'll show up as Brian when they get future text.
Yeah.
Also, it is going to be automated. You're going to be sending it out to a lot of people in your database. That's the point of it, right? So you can spread your net wide. Some people are going to know that, and they're going to know that it's kind of spammy, but that's okay, because if they're somebody who likes you and you're reaching out to them in all the different ways, they're going to understand that's just part of business. Yeah. But if you don't do it, you don't know who you miss out on. So right. It's key. I would throw the texting feature into your drip campaigns as well. Yeah. Have it auto text as one of your links in your drip campaign, because again, now you're hitting people from all the different angles. And if they miss your email last week, they get your text this week, or vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and texting is, it has a really high open rate. So, and I think what you said was perfect about that first initial text. It is really important to just say, just be straightforward and honest. You don't have to say, oh, and I changed my number. It's okay to be honest and say, I think that's, people appreciate honesty all the time. It's just saying, hey, this is my second number. This is the number I text from. Feel free to text me back and forth and I can reply back to you as quickly as possible. And then you can share that out. If you're on a team, you can share that out and everyone will get the text messages that's on your team. So I can share my screen here. So if I do send a text message here this is part of my drip campaign. I can select which number I'm sending from. I can put in, again, the placeholders and just put in my message here. I could attach a video. I could even attach a video about me saying how this is my a business line that they can text from. So you can upload that video in here and send that out. We also make it really easy for you to test. I always tell everyone, please use the testing feature. There's nothing worse than sending out a text that has a misspelled word or incorrect punctuation or whatever it is. You do still want to be, even though it's a text, I know we can all be a little, use all those shortcuts and everything, but you do want to have that professionalism of at least correct grammar and punctuation. So make sure don't just let it say this nonsense.
Yeah, I've definitely learned that the hard way a few times. And then I got to the point where I'm like, I'm testing it every time.
Yeah, so just put in your phone number, test it out, and see, is the video quality good? Especially if you're uploading a video, you want to make sure that the video quality looks good. Did you not clean your lens before you shot the video? I'm notorious for that. Or the picture, whatever it is, make sure you test it out. That's a huge key, just so it looks good and looks sharp and professional looking. And then we've also made it easy for you to do those other action types. I know, Brian, you were talking about, posting something on social media or, mailing a postcard. So you can edit your action types And this is a great way. It'll still come up on your calendar that this is what needs to happen. So the postcard won't be mailed out automatically, but this will give you the notification that you need in order for you to be reminded to mail out that postcard. Or if it's, post something on, send them a message on Messenger or Instagram or whatever it is. So that's,
and it's okay to be manual. I mean, it's okay to do a gang or hybrid with this. It's going to work better that way. You might have to do a little bit of work, but the payoff is going to be 100 times the amount of effort that you put in.
Yeah. And if you are doing it that way, which, I tell people there's nothing, I mean, I don't get the mail at my house. My kids love doing that, but there's nothing more kind of exciting, especially nowadays when everything is always done electronically, is going home and, finding an envelope with your name on it that's, that looks like it's, from somebody and not just a bill or something, right? That you have to pay. So go in there and you can select all your contacts, search through your contacts, you can select them and then add a note. Just say attach a note here and just say, mailed handwritten note. Can't type today. So I can put in that I just mailed a handwritten note out to them and it'll attach it to these 3 contacts. And so I've done all the work, but I just wanted to still make sure that I'm adding this note in here. So for my future reference. So then when I go back to call, Paul Newman, I can call him and say, hey, just checking in with you, wanted to see how you and the family are doing. And then, if they say, oh, I got your note, I could, probably put in a little bit more details of what I wrote in that note. So I was like, oh yeah, glad you got that. And, whatever. And you can talk about that a little bit. So it's always there to just kind of set those reminders for yourself and help you know where you're at in that relationship with that person. So do you have any tips, Brian, on how to manage categories? I know that's been a topic that people have been asking for, how to tag people.
Yeah, for sure. You're going to want to over time build many different types of drip campaigns because again, it's not a one size fits all. But going back to what I said before, don't overthink about it and not get to it. Just do one and then add one later and keep going. Yeah. But over time, your different campaigns are going to only work for certain people, potential buyers, potential sellers, close friends, family friends, acquaintances, people in your networking groups, whatever it might be, right? There's always something different. Parents on my kids' soccer team, whatever it is. You can make the messages so personalized to how you know that person. You're in a specialty group with them, or they do the sport with you, or whatever it might be, that you're going to want separate categories. So make sure when you're doing an intake form and you're meeting somebody new, whether buyer, seller, acquaintance, or you haven't worked with them yet, you put them in a separate category on Wise Agent because it's going to make your life easier in the long run. And it's really easy to put them in a separate category and add certain tags. It takes one more second to do it. And in the long run, you're going to be very happy because when you want to reach out to, say, everybody who that is a skier, they ski or snowboard, let's say, you have that specialty tag and you can start sending them stuff about the local mountain that maybe is in your area that you live in. You can send them stuff about sales that are going on with, equipment for skiing and snowboarding or whatever it might be. And now we're getting way more personal than a typical drip campaign. And it's more likely to be read because you're giving them an item of value that's personalized to what their likes are.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. And that's, something that I talk about all the time is making sure that you tag people with their interests, because that's something that for sure they're gonna read, and put that in the subject line. Like, put in the placeholder and say, first name, here's, whatever. Let's say you got here's a great deal on ski equipment. I don't think I have anything about skiing in here. I think I have gardening stuff, but, and you can, and you can copy and paste something in here. If you're not really sure what their interest, if you're not really sure what to talk about, but their interests, then we have this great feature in Wise Agent called the RSS feed, where basically all you do is you subscribe to blogs, and they'll be they'll just populate right into this this section here. So in this account, we've subscribed to Keeping Current Matters, which has great blog, get great content. This one is, I don't know what this word is or what that means, but Southern hospitality. So these get updated. So this was just from, I think, yesterday, right? So here's spring sales and favorites, right? So if I'm, sending this to, maybe I belong to some women's group and I want to send them something, the subject line gets populated, the image comes in, there's a link to the blog. I don't have to keep that in there. And then I can write something about this, before here, I can say, saw this article and thought of you, right? Because that's the whole purpose, is that I saw this, I thought of you, you're thinking about them, you have them on your mind. So now they're feeling, they think that the way we send emails out, they think that this is just personalized to them, and then they feel obligated to maybe think back about you. So they'll read it and they'll reply back saying thank you and whatnot. But what's really nice is especially if it's something that's of interest, like gardening or fashion or skiing or whatever it is, they probably have friends that also share those same hobbies and interests. And they'll, the likelihood of them being interested in this and possibly sending this on is a really great chance of that happening. And then when they get the email, it's already branded with your information. So then you're basically enabling them to build your sphere for you. So it's a great way of doing that. I love this tool. So, and especially if you've categorized them, I don't think I have a fashion one, but I have a garden one in here. So you can see all of my gardening people in here that I can send, that have those interests. Who would have thought? Bon Jovi, Elon Musk, they all love to garden. So, make sure that you're tagging them and categorizing them, because that will help you with not just segmenting them for your marketing materials, but also for, just like the one-off type of emails that you might be sending out, which is a great tip too. So I'm going to check to see if we have any more questions here, but Brian, I know you guys have, you and your team have all sorts of drip campaigns and scripts and things done there. How do you guys help maybe facilitate with maybe some leads or, farming? How do you guys help that with?
Yeah, absolutely. So the title companies, especially ours, because we're so large, we have relationships with the largest data companies in the nation. And so list. We can get you anything you want, narrow down to almost anything you want within reason. So if you're always trying to think of something like, well, what should I do next? Again, talk to your affiliate partner, because we probably have ideas for you. Or if you have an idea, ask the question. People can get super creative. I'll give you an example real quick. Again, since we have access to all the lists, we've had people pull specific lists and specific demographics in different cities than our market that we have found are feeder markets of people that move here, i.e. California and many of these others. And they're dialing in all the way down to the subdivision, and they have a dog and they have children under this age or whatever it might be. They're really dialing down to the demographics to fit something specific that they have out here, and they're reaching out to those people. So we have systems and tools to get you. We have systems and tools of how to get that information out, whether it's through email, whether it's through print marketing, whether it's through social media, different layered strategies of how to use it together. So ask the question. If you don't know, ask. If you do know and you want to find out how to tweak it even better, ask. We're constantly working on these things. So just reach out.
Yeah. I don't know. The audio is. Can you hear that? Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know. I just hear feedback all of a sudden. No, that's a great way of doing things too, because being that, if you want to be farming and getting some, growing your database through that way, that's a great way of doing that and partnering up with people. And I think, go ahead.
One of the coolest things that we've been doing more lately is there's a couple different resources out there that will feed into the consumer's IP address. So you'll upload your farm area. Say you're working on a farm area of 500 people, family, friends, maybe a certain subdivision you live in, whatever your farm area is. We'll upload it. It'll feed into their IP address, and it'll pull out actions that they take that make it more likely that they're going to sell within the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And then you take those people, limit them down, throw them into your Wise Agent, and do a very specialized drip campaign to those people that you know are going to sell in the next 6 months. And now you're talking about super micro targeting, right?
Yeah.
You're top of mind when they're ready to go. So there's a lot of different strategies for sure.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, and I think, we've given so many tips here on how to connect with your partners or your vendors, however you want to call them. One thing I do want to point out, I'm going to share my screen here one more time, is that we do have a vendor list, and within Wise Agent, I think this is a great way, and adding your vendors in here, making sure that you're keeping in touch with them, and asking them questions that will even help your business, saying, hey, I'm wanting to, do this. This is what I'm getting. A lot of people asking me this question or that question. Lean into your partners so you can get their assistance and whatever they can help you with. And so adding them to your vendor list here, or from your contact list, and just tagging them with the appropriate, category, title, lender, whatever it is. And then you can have people in multiple categories. So you can have one that's just called, your favorite vendors or your VIP vendors, and then break them out even further. But I think that's a great way of doing things. So you're keeping in touch with them. You're remembering them as well. So that's something that is definitely doable within Wise Agent as well. One of the questions that we got was about how they can be leveraging our landing pages. Wise Agent offers landing pages for everyone to be using to maybe capture leads or do whatever. And a landing page, just to remind everyone, is a single page that's has just the purpose of capturing people's data, right? Capturing their contact information. So you can have, here's an example of a landing page. It has some images in here. It has your contact information. And then right here, this is the most important part of the landing page, is that there's the form here. So once they click on submit, then they would go on to kind of they get redirected either to wherever you want them. You can have them just redirected to a thank you page, or you can redirect them to your Facebook page or whatever that is appropriate for the audience that you're sending this to. But I thought, with one of what's happening right now here in Arizona and a few other states around the country is, the states are starting to open up a little bit. I think what's a really nice way of getting maybe an invitation, those client appreciation parties really have been put on pause for the last year or so. And this is maybe, spring, and there's, nicer weather out in most of the country. It's a great way of getting back into that, where you can get people together a little bit, gather some people together, and get your sphere opened up. And you can have your partners maybe help kind of offset some of that cost. You can, maybe invite people to meet their neighbors. So if you're farming, you want to select a group of people from a specific neighborhood. So whatever it is that you want to do, you can create, I'll just edit this one here. So you can create an invitation for a particular event that you're hosting. So you can come in here, change out the title saying, let's, join me to, meet your neighbors, and then have them fill out the form so they can RSVP. And basically this would be a form that they would fill out to RSVP that they're coming. Are you going to be able to attend this event? Yes or no? And you can, put any images in here, give your location, your time and date, and all that stuff that can go into this landing page. And then set it up where you have your lead rules coming in, just saying, hey, thanks for signing up to come to this event, and then reiterate the time and date that it's going to happen at and the location. And this is a great way of being able to do that through, through our system. And so you would just be able to, instead of having, I don't know what that is, you can come in here and just change your autoresponder. So you can say, hey, thanks for RSVPing. I'll see you on, Thursday night at 7 p.m. at whatever this hamburger joint. And, feel free to invite a friend. excited to introduce you to some of your neighbors. And so it's a great way of being able to, open up your sphere and open up some of your, your database to people. And then these all get automatically added into your Wise Agent account, where then you can follow up with them and whatever. And so having something like that is, hosting an event like that would be really nice, especially, I know it would be great for neighbors to meet one another. And then when you do good, good comes back to you. You'll also be helping maybe a restaurant that's also been, affected by everything that's happened in the last year and maybe closed down for a while. So everything, it's kind of a good karma just all around. So that would be one way of using our landing pages.
There's just so much with Wise Agent. Like
Yeah.
you can get lost in a whole all day building it out. So just remember, everybody, one thing at a time, but do something.
Yeah. And I know we're coming up to time here, and someone's asking, Steffi's asking, can Wise Agent conduct a training on step-by-step for using landing pages? Absolutely. So I'll share my screen one more time. So our support staff is 24/7. So you can come to this help drop down and you can click on the contact us, and you can just request, hey, can you do an individual training on a landing page or marketing or whatever it is. We also have our online classes. So we host, weekly classes on marketing and transactions. So here's one on contacts and how to send texts and emails, how to create a newsletter and flyers. So if there's something in here that you're missing, feel free to reach out to us and we'll get that. Then we also have our knowledge base and our online our video tutorials. So if you go to our YouTube channel, we have all sorts of videos in there that we can help you out with. So just reach out to us and we'll get you all set up. All right. I think we're coming to the end of it. Brian, did you have any final thoughts, anything you wanted to end with here?
Just same thing we've been repeating all along. The best agents in the valley that I see where my market is, they have systems, and it doesn't really matter if you have all the right systems or all the systems, just some systems. And Wise Agent helped build my business and my team's business, and it's one of the greatest systems out there. So get on it, play around, do some stuff. If anything, it'll help and not hurt. But get systematic, treat your business as a business, and build it over time, and it will make your life much, much easier. I know agents in my market that never did this, and they're swamped. They're doing 4 to 6 closings a month as a single agent, and they're about to have a heart attack. And every time I talk to them, they're running around with their, pulling their hair out. And they wish they would have started a system, because in the short run, it's harder, but it's, hard now, easy later. In the long run, it makes your life way easier. So just do it.
Yeah, that's great advice. Thank you for that. And so thanks everyone for joining.